Game 1, time in. 0-0-2.
Genie Erokhina starting things off with the tag. Walter, take us through this women's doubles team for LA of Catherine Parenteau and Jade Kawamoto. They've been very dominant this season. What stands out to you about the strengths of these two players?
Yeah, they're one of the strongest women's team, I believe, in this whole MLP. They have a really good ability to come back from a defensive position and turn it around into offense. As you saw there, Jade and Catherine are both really good at scrambling and then coming back to the net after being in a disadvantageous position. So you're seeing the speed up right there by Genie, a little bit below the tape. Typically that would be ill-advised because it's kind of a lower ball, but it clipped the tape, so it kind of threw the timing off by Jade and Catherine, which enabled them to still pull out that point.
1-0-2.
That gets Utah on the board first.
Side out.
So you're going to see that tactic employed quite a bit right there by Allyce Jones throwing up that lob. She's well known for her lobs, but it is slightly breezier conditions right now. So
0-1-1.
So we'll have to take a look into how that's going to play a role.
Second serve.
We see there Genie Erokhina able to step in and take that fourth shot out of the air. She's one of the tallest female players we have here in Major League Pickleball, standing at 6 feet.
0-1-2.
Certainly uses that height to her advantage on that left side.
What a dig.
Point.
Speaking of Genie's reach, you're going to notice her being extra aggressive today. You're seeing her creep over to the right to take a lot of those middle ball forehands to really make an impact on this game.
Side out.
Great positioning by Catherine on that forehand to the back right foot of Allyce Jones, pushing them back into the far part of the court. That enabled them to gain control of that point.
Second serve.
So that's two missed reset balls by Allyce Jones on the backhand side. Look for them to target that area right now as she's trying to get her feet into that game.
Allyce Jones, one of the premier defensive players in all of pickleball, especially on that right side. It's made her brand off of that.
And that right there is what we saw happen yesterday during their doubles matches. Targeting Allyce Jones's left foot because her dink sat a little higher, which created an issue for her mixed doubles when she was playing yesterday.
Second serve.
So what are some things that you can do, to combat hitting high dinks if someone goes inside to that left foot if you're a right-handed player?
Well, what we saw there with Genie trying to come over with her forehand to protect that zone so that Allyce didn't have to hit that difficult dink going inside out with her backhand. That made it a little bit easier, but the problem was Genie missed that dink. So look for them to try to figure out a solution to that problem.
That dink in the net gives the Mad Drops a 2-1 lead on a second serve here.
Side out.
The wind definitely played a role on that one. You saw Jade being a lefty hitting a backhand on that right side. The ball floated up a little bit and the wind held it back.
1-2-1.
An interesting fifth shot lob there from Genie Erokhina, and honestly, over Jade Kawamoto's forehand. Jade, not the tallest player out there on the court, generally not able to get a ton of power on those overheads. So do you like that play as a reset ball?
Yeah, I kind of like what they did, actually, how they crashed pretty hard on that, so they would cut off all the angles. You saw Genie come in with a big forehand to try to counter, just missed into the net, but it's an interesting idea there. And that was kind of doomed to fail at the start when that speed up was high. You see Allyce was ready for that counter. She's really good at sliding to make that space for herself, and then ended up winning the point, putting it at Catherine's feet.
Point.
If you're a team like Utah looking, this would be an upset if the Black Diamonds able to take this women's doubles game, and errors like that not going to help their cause.
Point.
So for those of you watching at home, you're probably wondering why there's all this communication between Genie and Allyce. You're probably hearing them being a little bit more vocal than the other side. And that's partly because of that new partnership. They're just trying to get a good feel on who's going to take what ball. An example of that would be when Genie, just this last point, hit Allyce's paddle when they were both going for that middle ball.
Jade Kawamoto, good look at that backhand.
And that was all set up perfectly for that put-away ball. They just missed the put-away.
The serve goes back to Utah.
1-4-1.
Trailing by 3, 1-4.
Second serve.
Ooh, that was a close call.
We'll see if we do get a challenge.
You want to challenge,
I think we might.
You're maintaining your
pretty set on that.
Like to bond.
After review, the call in the court stands. The ball is out. Utah loses one free challenge. They have 2 remaining. LA, you have 3 free challenges remaining.
So basically, you don't really lose anything there if you're Utah.
1-4-2.
You don't have your challenge, but you still do have your timeout. So basically, just good to kind of pause, see where we're at.
Time in.
And come back with the second serve from Allyce Jones.
As you can see there, Genie, like we mentioned in the beginning, taking control of that middle zone with her forehand on the counters, which is what enabled them to pull out that point on that battle.
2-4-2. Side out.
Nice misdirection on that speed up from Catherine Parenteau.
Yeah, it's a very difficult ball to counter when it's coming from Parenteau to Genie, because that's cross court, and then Genie trying to pull it up the line, which changes the direction of the ball.
And again, just that cross-body speed up out of the air from Jade Kawamoto.
Sometimes it's just a little confusing when you're playing a lefty. You saw Allyce try to slide left there. Might have been because it was coming from Jade's backhand, but the correct slide should have been to the right to guard that wide shot, and Genie would have protected the middle.
And off speed through the middle goes Catherine Parenteau. He has, especially alongside Tyson McGuffin in men's doubles, it is something to behold. As we're back here with LA leading 6-2.
Second serve. Six 2-2. Point.
The lob, no good that time, Walter. What was the difference there that made it unsuccessful?
She lobbed it a little bit to the left side of Kawamoto, and that being a lefty enabled her to use that forehand overhead. It should have gone over to the other shoulder instead.
And just missed overhead.
Timeout, Utah Black Diamonds, 8-2-2.
We do get an early lead.
8-2-2.
8-2, second serve.
And as we just talked about, Genie is her best when she's playing big, taking that middle when paired with Allyce. And that started with that big forehand attack, leading to the sequence of those events.
Important side out for the Black Diamonds. What can they do with it?
Second serve.
You see Genie trying to reset that ball with her hands. Had she used her legs a little bit with a knee bend, it would have helped her finesse that over a little bit better.
Do you like the play there, the aggressiveness? You saw Erokhina come through the middle, just too good from Catherine Parenteau.
Yeah, I like the aggression, just the spot was tough because Catherine was sitting on that counter knowing that she was going to do that.
Serve back to LA.
So notice that right there. They did a really good job of moving forward and then moving backwards to enable themselves to have more time with those lobs and those floating kind of resets. But that last shot was left a little high by Allyce.
And just too much at the kitchen line right now from the LA Mad Drops, and it's game point for Jade Kawamoto and Catherine Parenteau.
10-2-1.
And that's what we're talking about right there. The forehand aggression by Genie being first to attack rather than being on the receiving end of the Kawamoto-Parenteau duo.
Game point number 2. And Genie Erokhina getting big in the middle. That's what you've been wanting to see, Walter. And we see it right there, saving a game point in style.
It's perfect.
Serve goes back to Utah.
There we go. That middle forehand again. Once again, Genie putting that away. But that all started with their initial aggression.
3-10-1.
Somehow stays in. Too much there, but what an effort from the Black Diamonds. That's what we've become accustomed to seeing from Allyce Jones and Genie Erokhina.
And we want to keep seeing that too. Allyce being the setup one and Genie being the closeout. So what I'm seeing there is that initial attack by Allyce to Catherine's inner left hip created her one-handed pop-up. That might be a good spot to look out for to see if that's going to be effective in future points.
Trying to maybe apply some scoreboard pressure, still trailing by 6.
Yeah, Catherine's going to be all over that one. You put it to her right hip or to the right of her body, she's going to take that forehand and just rip it. That's why it looks like the better play is to put it to her left hip, at the moment at least.
As the serve goes back to Los Angeles, game point number 3. And that one just wide.
You maintaining your alcohol? Utah
and that would bring us to the end of game one. We do get a challenge from Genie Erokhina on that sideline.
We'll now proceed to video review.
And it is clearly out there as we see on the screen. So Los Angeles does take women's doubles 11-4 over Utah.
Game 2, time in.
Taking on Connor Garnett and Tyler Loong. Utah looking to even the match going into mixed doubles. And that net court, if that happens 11 straight times, and they are going to get there very quickly.
Hey, maybe it'll be fortuitous of things to come.
0-0-1.
So you're going to see that aggression coming from Johnson and Wang Yun right out the gates, but also continuing the rest of the match with the third shot drive, fifth shot drive, seventh shot drive. Typically, you see like a third drive and maybe a fifth drop, but not the case here.
That's just bread and butter for Connor Garnett right there.
That's money in the bank for him. Literally his favorite shot.
1-0-2.
Gets Utah on the board first.
Side out.
That's what Johnson and Yoon are going to want to do, is jam up Garnett so he doesn't have room for that backhand.
Point.
This Utah team for the Black Diamonds, Connor Garnett and Tyler Loong, 9-7 so far together this season. Have played a lot of PPA events together as well.
Second serve.
So one thing to keep an eye on is Loong is left-handed. So Garnett and Loong are going to be unwinding off this next stack. So watch the serve go to Connor, and they're going to unwind. There's that Ernie.
Brought it up earlier.
Right, and so now the unwinding of the stack can serve two beneficial purposes. One, in giving Loong that Ernie that he likes, and two, giving Garnett the ability to cover for the middle when he's doing that with his forehand. But the problem is they're playing two guys that have really good drives. So if they're able to drive it hard off that first ball, the unwinding of the stack could prove to be detrimental to Loong and Garnett.
And just the hands, the power, too much there for Connor Garnett. And that one definitely going out, but Hunter Johnson unable to get out of the way. Maybe a little revenge there for Garnett after Hunter Johnson beat him last week in the semifinals of the Orange County Cup. Hunter Johnson going on to win men's singles gold at that tournament.
Yeah, he had a great showing.
3-1-1.
So you know Connor was going to go on that second one because he already kind of regrets not taking that first poach. But he needs to be aggressive there to protect Loong when Loong's trying to go over to the right.
You don't always get that second opportunity to assert yourself, but Connor did there and took full advantage.
Second serve.
And when these teams faced off at MLP Phoenix, Walter, the matchups were without Wang Yun, who was serving a suspension. So Connor, Loong and Garnett took down Hunter Johnson and Spencer Smith 11-9.
Side out.
Yeah, that's quite a different game there. Spencer Smith and switching it out for Wang Yun. Wang's got a way more drivey, kind of attacky, offensive kind of game. You notice that serve right there is already going to be very beneficial.
Super, super heavy with the way that he grips the paddle. Such an unorthodox grip when you look at a lot of other pro pickleballers.
Right, he's got that extreme Western grip, probably one of the most extreme on tour. But it gives him that extra spin if he can get a deep spin serve. Very beneficial. But right there, that's the kind of the Achilles heel, is with that kind of an extreme grip, you run the risk of not hitting the ball clean on certain balls. Or you just hit the top of the ball because it's so closed, so that it ends up going to the net.
4-2-1.
Great display there from Tyler Loong. Just had an epic kind of on the extension backhanded slice reset to get back into the rally.
4-2-2.
Put Quang just asserting his will. Too much.
Point.
Speaking of wills, Connor's like, not that time, not today.
Connor Garnett takes it in stride, gives Utah a 5-2 advantage, looking to get to the side switch with a 4-point lead. As Connor Garnett having some trouble controlling the ball as he bounces it before his serve.
He got it.
Unable to cover, with how fast Connor Garnett is, probably expected him to be back there to get that one.
Oh, yeah. And he's a single specialist, so he's really good at the lateral movement and the explosion off the first step. So that right there, that drive by Wang Yun, tough to drive it cross court when your opponent's trying to come over, or your partner's trying to come over. It opens up the lane for Garnett's down the line counter. And that right there is a different story. So that time he drove it in front of him, which creates the ability for him to close off of his own setup shot. If he had gone cross court there, it would have gone back down the line.
Side out.
And you're seeing that ball get a little bit behind Johnson. Yeah, the reset was pretty tough to handle because it got behind him, so he was late to the ball.
5-3-1.
That one's certainly going out. Johnson unable to get out of the way. We'll go to the side.
Second serve.
And that's already an improvement that we've seen from Hunter Johnson. Hit a few out balls early in this match, Walter, but able to let that one go.
6-3-2.
Yeah, I think that's the first one he's left. Oh, I touched him.
Speaking of leaving out balls and getting out of the way, Tyler Loong unable to there. So difficult to do that when it's coming with so much pace and spin, and when you're trying to go up to the net as well.
Point.
That shot right there was also a little bit ill-advised with the height of that ball being so low.
4-6-1.
Tyler going that aggressive at that ball is really tough when to execute.
Second serve.
2 quick points now for the Mad Drops.
4-6-2. Point.
Now the lead cut to just 1. Really strong start for LA out of the side switch.
Side out.
And Utah keeping the lead. They get the serve back, but a nice run from LA.
Noticing a little bit of a trend by the Black Diamonds with the middle balls. Tyler's kind of leaving it to Connor to figure out what he wants to do with it.
The crowd loving that ATP defense from Hunter Johnson. But Connor Garnett initiating and able to finish it.
And that's what he's going to have to do to extend this lead. Be extra aggressive. Connor Garnett's aggression is what they're going to need.
7-5-1.
You see Utah Walters opting, they're going to let Tyler take a lot in these third shots and just kind of let him rip that third and just hope that Connor Garnett can kind of take advantage of any lackluster fourth balls from Wang Yun and Hunter Johnson. Has them leading so far.
Connor was sitting on that, though. He knew it was coming because the drop went a little on the higher end by Tyler's backhand, and we knew Johnson was going to speed that up, so Connor was sitting on that. He just mistimed it.
5-7-1.
Serve back to Utah.
Second
that
serve.
Somehow stays in from Tyler Loong. It looked like it may just be going out, but you see just how he keeps his paddle so far out in front of him to be able to make contact with the ball out in front and not overhit.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, I was actually just about to mention the mechanics of his forehand. Leaving it out there means that you're going to have a quicker load-up time and a quicker reset time for the next ball for the reload. And he does a really good job of that. Like that, for example, Connor on that backhand reset when Wang was drilling it at him, he kept his paddle out in front of him on that backhand, just popped it right back using the pace, and then took advantage of his response. He almost had that one.
I mean, at that point, you got Hunter Johnson hitting an overhead at you. You may as well just try and hit it as hard as you can.
Go for broke. And it was kind of unorthodox. He went down the line rather than up the middle or across court.
I think most people were just trying to make contact with that ball, much less directing it.
Yeah.
Side out.
Great eye by Hunter and Wang leaving that ball.
Now a chance to tie it here for the Mad Drops.
Point.
So if you're Wayne Yoon and Hunter Johnson, that's kind of what the spot you want to hit on Tyler. You want to hit the left or the right side of his body because you want to keep it away from his forehand counter that he does a really good job of popping.
Off the net, and all of a sudden, LA leading by 1. What a response out of the side switch.
Yeah, they're turning up the aggression. See, that's that forehand again. Oh,
and making one more ball pays off for Hunter.
Time in. 9-7-1.
Nice angle there from Tyler Loong. Not an easy shot.
And there's that strategy we were talking about earlier with Tyler using that forehand to his advantage and Connor taking that middle so that Tyler can be hyper-aggressive with his slide to the right.
And a big side out there for Utah.
And anytime they get that ball to slow down like that, advantage goes to Garnett Long. Because Tyler Loong and Garnett's dinking, they're going to have a little bit more patience, I'd say, than the other side, because that's more of their game.
And on the crash there is Connor Garnett. It's a play we've seen multiple times throughout this men's doubles game. And it works there in a crucial moment, cutting the lead to 1.
8-9-1. Second serve.
There goes through the middle. Hunter Johnson. Able to risk having 2 forehands in the middle. Not an easy shot to execute.
8-9-2.
Picked his spot well. Into the net, we are knotted up at 9.
Look for that middle zone to be kind of a range that they're going to be targeting. Wayne Yoon and Hunter Johnson. That's where they've had some success. Connor's trying to figure out if he needs to do a 2-handed backhand counter or cover the middle with his forehand. And Tyler's trying to slide to hit his forehand counter. So watch for that middle zone to be a factor here. And that's it right there. That middle ball. It's going to be a tough one. Connor wants to run around that to the backhand. Tyler's not sure if he should take it, so that causes a little bit of confusion there.
9-9-1. Second serve.
Wang Yoon trying to kind of sneak up to the kitchen line there, unable to get it over the net.
9-9-2.
Both teams stuck on 9.
Oh, no. He
Garnett hit a similar shot earlier in the same game with the backhand ATP, but he had able to make solid contact there.
10-9-2.
Game point now for LA. And that is gonna do it. Garnett's volley goes wide, and the Mad Drops overcome a 3-6 deficit in this one. Take it 11-9.
He ended that last match with 2 backhand
Game
errors, so
3,
let's see if he
time
can
in.
just come back quickly here and just
0-0-2.
have that goldfish memory.
Point.
Last time these two faced off in Phoenix, like Athena mentioned,
1-0-2.
Kawamoto and Johnson beat Jones and Garnett 11-8. So Jones and Garnett have to win this in order to keep Utah in the match.
Side out.
And that aggression right there is what you're going to be looking for from Garnett, being the first to pull that. Jade tried to recover that, and then
0-1-1.
Garnett and Allyce finished it off.
Great lob there from Allyce Jones, completely turning the momentum of that rally upside down in favor of Utah.
Yeah, and great pickup by Kawamoto. Just was not quite enough at the end of that play.
That gets Utah on the board, knotted at 1.
1-1-1. Second serve.
Kawamoto's hands are just really good to start off this match. You see Connor with 2 really big put-away balls, but could not end
1-1-2.
due to Kawamoto's fast hands.
Side out.
Jade Kawamoto, one of the most solid players in terms of just all-around court coverage, but especially on
1-1-1.
defense. The resets, gets to the kitchen almost automatically, it seems like.
Yeah, Jade does not make many errors, as you saw right there, which kind of pressures the opponent to go for a little bit more. And that's what you saw cause that error there by Connor.
2-1-1. Point.
Sneaky little speed up there from Hunter Johnson off the bounce. Likes that backhand speed up.
And that's that second one. That's the second one you've
3-1-1.
seen there. Go to Alyssa's right side, jamming her up. And the second point that they won off of it.
Again, switching it up there on that drive, goes more middle to Alyssa's left side.
3-1-2.
That drops the 3-1 lead.
Point.
Make it 4-1 after the missed return. Not the start you're looking for if you're Utah, needing to win this game.
4-1-2.
So that speed up by Connor from his toes was kind of ill-advised to start that whole sequence of events, but that's kind of what led them to ultimately fall short on that point. Tough ball to accelerate off the toes.
5-1-2.
Three-shot combo there from Jade Kawamoto. Finished. This one lead.
He's pairing really well with Jade, but Jade's also been playing out of her mind. She has not missed very many shots, maybe one shot this whole match so far. So Hunter being able to sync well together with Jade is, I think, what's going to help win them this match.
1-6-1.
See, and that's a speed up that we're going to have to try to avoid if we're Connor Garnett. That was from his back left foot at a low position. That ball is going to sit a little high, and Jay's going to be all over that counter.
One 6-2. Point.
Tough bounce on that. Hunter's looking down. Hear somebody in the crowd say that's the spot.
As Utah
2-6-2.
looking to claw their way back into this one.
Speaking of spots, that was a great spot by Jade, hitting the back right foot of Allyce Jones, making it a very tough dink to recover.
6-2-1.
Now that's a really tough speed up to do. Off the tape with that little margin for error.
Over the highest part of the net on the side. Hunter Johnson feeling himself, but maybe a little ambitious with that one.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a heat check there. Ooh, a spin.
Side out.
And just gets tagged. We don't see a ton of, well, I guess we have recently been seeing more cross-court speed-ups in doubles, just you're not expecting it, and that one tags Hunter Johnson square in the chest.
And Hunter is just having a day today. I feel like he was tagged twice in that men's doubles match. Keeps the tally count at 3 now.
Second serve.
That's a rare sighting right there, a missed lob by Allyce Jones. Typically, that's one of her strengths.
Hard to know if the wind played a role in carrying that one.
2-6-2.
2-6 for Utah.
Oh, I love it.
What a combination from Connor Garnett.
So his combo was actually a Burt and then an Ernie. So he did a Burt and Ernie on the same play.
Just what a put away there, that angle.
3-6-2.
See it there on the replay. 3-6.
Oh.
Side out.
So you hear Allyce kind of berating herself on that. That was a beautiful drop by Connor with backspin, creating that pop-up opportunity for Allyce to close out. She just couldn't come through at the end.
Serve goes back to LA. Have yet to put any points on the board since the side switch. Still with a 3-point lead.
Point.
Too tough by Jade and Hunter, applying the pressure and keeping the pressure on.
Seven, 3-1.
And the combo almost works out to perfection for Connor Garnett. Just can't put it away.
And we saw that in the men's doubles match too. His second shot of his attack combo, for some reason, is clipping that net
8-3-1.
on the backhand side.
8-3 now for LA. Falling away, Connor Garnett goes with the speed up. And it pays off.
And it doesn't normally work with a normal person, but Connor is not a normal person's backhand.
Especially that two-way, just something to behold.
Side out.
So that speed up actually was probably going out, but Jade could not take her paddle away in time at that height and at that speed.
3-8-1.
Serve back to Utah and need to win this match to avoid a regulation loss.
Huh.
And there's Jade Kawamoto. Takes the backhand early. The crowd loving it.
Loving it. And Connor really needs to put those ones away. I mean, he had the opportunity to put that ball away, but Jade was just too good with the dig, creating a counter opportunity for herself.
3-8-2.
Nice 1-2 punch there from Hunter Johnson. May have hit an out ball, but he was able to put it away.
Yeah, it's just this quick twitch, the forehand and the reload to the forehand side, covering that middle ball.
8-3-1.
And that's the no-go zone for Allyce, is that high backhand that floats a little bit. She's going to counter that backhand down every time.
8-3-2. Side out.
So if I'm the Utah Black Diamonds, that's probably what I'm going to be looking for moving forward. That's a tough one for Hunter to hit, but Allyce needs to go behind him a couple times to keep him honest and also to keep it away from Jade.
And off the net, Allyce Jones will not complain about that. We've seen LA stuck on 8 for a few side outs. And Utah just continually trying to apply that scoreboard pressure. They're within 4.
So that's a tough spot there. If you're going to hit it to Hunter, you want to keep it to his left foot. You can see him kind of creeping over with that forehand. He's done a really good job of attacking and doing 2-shot combos to put away the second ball.
4-8-2. Point.
Missed return there. Cuts the lead to just 3.
Timeout, LA Mad Drops.
Continue this run, 5-8.
5-8-2.
And that's it right there. Literally what I was just talking about. Keep it to Hunter's backhand side. Keep him honest on that side. Keep him away from the middle and keep it away from Jade.
Harder for him to be aggressive on that backhand. I like that spot. And now within 1.
And that is actually the chain effect of keeping it to Hunter's left side, is that now Jade has to scoot over slightly more to her left, which makes her less comfortable from what it was in the beginning of the match.
Side out.
And a crucial side out there for LA.
Yeah, and an unfortunate frame shot by Connor because they had the momentum at that point. Now let's see if they can get the momentum back or if the LA Mad Drops are going to take it and finish this game off.
And just the drive there, Connor Garnett unwinding the stack, probably doesn't get out in front far enough with that backhand volley, sends it just long.
You do. Timeout, Utah Black Diamonds. Time in.
Trying to stay in this match.
Oh.
What a get from Allyce Jones.
And that's that same side we literally were talking about. Hunter's left side. Keep it to his backhand.
Going for the ATP.
9-7-2.
Second serve now. And Jade Kawamoto on the crash.
Got some airtime there.
The crowd loves him, some Jade Kawamoto. Gets LA to a game and match
10-7-2.
point.
Right on the line there.
Just stays in for Connor Garnett.
I love the exuberance by Allyce. That's the energy they're going to need to be injected into that side of the court right now.
Black Diamonds save one game point. What can they do now with the serve? And Allyce Jones playfully upset there with Hunter Johnson. Johnson just tags her right in the midsection.
Maybe it's some retribution for the amount of times he's been tagged today.
Yeah, maybe it is. He's just saying, hey, I can make this ball go anywhere I want on the court. I'm going to go straight for Allyce Jones. Inside-out forehand put away from Jade Kawamoto. So hard to read. You talked about it earlier, Walter.
Yeah, and she goes behind Allyce Jones as she's trying to cover middle. So it's tough to switch directions that quickly to cover that ball.
Point game, 11-7.
That is going to do it. Into the net goes Connor Garnett's backhand. And the LA Mad Drops go up 3-0. They secure 3 standings points. Get this one done in Brooklyn on Friday. Bit of a get-right match for this team as Catherine Parenteau starts us off.
Side out.
And you have Wayne Yoon coming over there to the ref. I think he was telling her that he called that ball out.
I did not hear an audible out call or didn't really see a clear expression either.
We're going to probably see a challenge here.
Referee timeout. LA Mad Drops is challenging the in-ruling.
And we will get
the in-ruling stand.
The
ball was in. LA loses 1 free challenge. They have 2 remaining.
Any match,
Utah,
regardless
you
of how
have
far
1
down
free
you are.
video challenge remaining. We'll resume play at side out 0-0-1.
And so ball will go to Tyler Loong and Genie Erokhina.
Time in. 0-0-1. Second serve.
That's just bread and butter right there for Wang Yoon. Any high ball he gets is just going to be way too much to try and extend the rally if you're Utah. Got to keep it low.
0-0-2. Point.
It's a tough deep serve. That serve's trajectory actually had a little bit of skid action. So you see Wayne Yoon try to hit a backhand with that big backswing, catch it kind of late.
Through the middle goes Wang Yoon, just sitting on that backhand. One of his favorite shots, loves to load up the two-handed backhand at the kitchen line. As we see Tyler Loong speaking with Genie Erokhina.
0-1-1.
Just telling her to slow it down a little bit. The team they're playing loves pace, as we see from 3 straight drives from Wang Yoon. 4.
5.
And it pays off. The LA Mad drives in full effect, not in men's doubles, but in mixed, at least so far.
Notice how Wayne Yoon's drive locations were literally all the exact same spot in the court. That makes it a higher percentage play, even though it's a low percentage play to drive that many balls consecutively. The fact that he just targeted the same spot each time made it very repeatable for him.
And just the pace, Parenteau able to hang in there with the hands. Walter, what about driving that many times in a row, in your mind, makes it a low percentage play?
2-1-1.
The harder you are hitting the ball, you have a higher likelihood of that ball hitting the tape, maybe not contacting it right, sailing out. So it makes it tougher and tougher each contiguous shot that you hit if it's at that speed and that pace for everything to be perfect.
2-1-2.
The thing is, though, that for Wang Yun, he put it in the same spot, so it made it so the mechanics could just be repeated 4 times in a row. Exactly the same way.
That stays in from Genie Erokhina. Nice, just pause, letting kind of Wang Yun try and cheat over a little bit before she pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I noticed the location she put it was the top right shoulder
1-2-1.
Wang Yun, which is one of the most difficult spots to counter, especially if you're a right-hander.
Second serve.
Tyler Loong letting some frustration out on his foot. That cannot have felt good for either his foot or the paddle.
Or the 15 stitches he has on that same leg.
Exactly.
Point.
That one wide as Utah ties it up at 2.
Yes. 2-2-2. Side out.
Unfortunate there with the net cord.
2-2-1.
A lot in that match. Tyler
Second
Loong
serve.
maybe miscalculating the timing of the overhead, but able to redeem himself with that counter through the middle on that forehand punch.
And that's Genie returning fire, and that's kind of how you have to deal with that drive sometimes. Otherwise, it just gets shorter and shorter, and Wang Yun just gets his drive harder and harder.
2-2-1. Second serve.
Both teams having a little trouble making their way up to the kitchen line.
With that kind of firepower, it's going to be tough for anyone.
And that reach, too, from the mad drops. And pretty just drop volley, effortless. Looked like Catherine Parenteau didn't even move her feet on that one. Just
funny that she's the one to do it, because she's probably the most versatile person on that court right now.
Point.
With her shot-making ability, using both speed and finesse.
3-2-1. Second serve. Three, 2-2. Point.
Huge serve there from Wang Yun, forces the return error.
4-2-2.
4-2 now for LA.
Good take by Tyler.
Side out.
I guess we'll call that a Burt. From Tyler Loong.
Most definitely was a Burt.
Well, it looked like there was low miscommunication over who was actually going to hit it. Genie Erokhina could have come back and had the forehand, but Loong taking matters into his own hands.
And there's Erokhina taking it into hers.
Point.
Doing the same exact thing. A nice combo from Erokhina. First coming over with the forehand and finishing it with that high backhand.
3-4-1.
3-4 for Utah.
Erokhina just moving over early. Tyler hadn't even swung to hit that ball yet, and that's what they call the shake and bake, and she just baked it to perfection.
4-4-1. Second serve. Four, 4-2.
Pretty through the middle from Catherine Parenteau. It looked like both Loong and Erokhina may have thought it was going to be long, but it stays in. Serve back to the mat drops.
4-4-1.
A little bit too much there by Genie, trying for that across the body forehand makes it pretty tough because it's a smaller margin of error.
5-4-1. Second serve.
Missed third from Catherine Parenteau. Rarely see that.
Yeah,
how solid
common.
she is. LA still with the lead, looking to get to the side switch.
Football.
And football called there on Genie Erokhina. That is how we get fans. And we're excited to share it with you as we go back to championship court.
Side out.
It's good effort there from Parenteau to stay in the rally, get back up to the kitchen line, but no good on that backhand attack.
Point.
On her back foot there, which is why she missed that into the net.
Second serve.
Just relentless, Wayne Yun. Tyler did a good job of digging that first one, but just too much power.
5-6-2.
Overhead from Wang Yun, loose wrist. He gets it that high. Get some serious lag. And speaking of power, Genie Erokhina through the middle. Knotted up at 6 here. A nice little run out of the side switch for the Black Diamonds.
6-6-2.
What a reset from Parenteau.
So that right there, what that Genie did was what they call a bait dink, or a bait shot. She attacked that ball in a position where it wasn't quite counterable, but it was kind of juicy to be able to hit it hard back. So Catherine hit it hard. Genie's waiting for the counter.
Side out.
Again, Tyler Loong looked like in the right position, just unable to fully get a hold of that one. Serve back to LA now, trailing by 1.
Second serve. Six, 7-2.
Ooh, just an unfortunate net cord there. Wayne apologizing.
We see Parenteau going for the third shot drive with Tyler Loong and Genie Erokhina unwinding the stack.
7-7-2.
Felt like they never really got into position as Wang Yun was attacking off of the drive. 7-all.
Side out.
Watch for where Wayne Yun and Catherine put this third.
7-7-1.
Let's see if they can exploit an opening. The reason why I mention that is because a lot of times when they can exploit the pressure of the unwinding of a stack, or with Genie and Tyler coming in, both instances,
7-7-2.
the opponents are still in motion. So with the firepower that Wayne Yun's using with his drives and counters, it's cutting time away. I like that one right there.
Side out.
Wang Yun going across body to Genie Erokhina, wins that exchange.
7-7-1. Second serve.
Trying to go behind Genie there, which is actually the lower percentage play since he has to deal with that sideline, causing the unforced error.
Interesting to see
7-7-2.
Genie on the right side in that point. They chose not to unwind, but they do here.
Forehand punch, like, once again by Tyler Loong, as we've seen many times today. That's his shot of choice when it comes to his body. Quick load up.
Timeout, Utah Black Diamond, 7-7-1. 7-7-1.
So we have Genie Erokhina serving out of the timeout. So much from Tyler Loong. That forehand, we've talked about it several times.
So notice the formation there. Tyler in the middle, but look how Genie stayed back on that to kind of be the defensive backup option in case it got past him.
Point.
And that one wide now, 9-7 in favor of Utah.
9-7-1.
And if they can keep that up, this is the 3 points out of this timeout have all been shake and bake, and then another shake and bake. And it's funny because you get the shaker being different people each time. So the ability to do it for the girl driving or the guy driving has proved to be a beneficial factor here, and probably the deciding factor as they choose to try to close out this match.
10-7 for Utah. Close out in style. Huge third shot as Tyler Loong and Genie Erokhina get the win over Wang Yun and Catherine Parenteau. Joining us now on the broadcast are Hunter Johnson and Wang Yun for an interview. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, Hunter Johnson and Wang Yun. Hunter, I will start with you. Coming off a loss yesterday against Brooklyn. You guys were down in men's doubles against Tyler Loong and Connor Garnett. Talk about the adjustments you made at the side switch to pull off that men's doubles win and put your team up 2-0 to go on to win the match.
Yeah, you know, we weren't driving too much, but then we started to, and that's obviously our game plan nowadays. So, yeah, it came down to the wire there. We just kind of kept going for our shots. We got a few missed volleys off of our drives, so that really helped. And yeah, just tried to stay focused the whole time. Anything can happen. It's MLP, so every match is, just got to keep your head down and keep the plan and try to execute as best as you can.
QD, this next question is for you. MLP Daytona, they dubbed you as the LA Mad Drivers. So, with your style of play and now with the lifetime ball, how has that been affecting your gameplay, and how do you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, it's good. Like I said, the first, I think first half of the match, me and Hunter were down. I mean, with these lifetime balls, they just goes too fast, and it's really difficult to drop, especially against Tyler and Connor. They have a pretty good reach as well, and if you drop the ball too high, they're probably gonna let it bounce and just rip it. So during the second half, you know what, like, screw it. Me and Hunter just stay back, and we drive
and stay back.
And drive and stay back. Yeah, our drop is the drive to get in.
And Hunter, just talking of the schedule, a bit of an interesting scenario. Obviously, you were the first match on today. You don't have another match until tomorrow. Talk us through what you're going to do, what the team is going to do, and enjoy your Saturday in San Clemente.
Yeah, we're going to just rest and recover. We got 2 tomorrow, so hopefully everyone comes out and supports the LA Mad Drops. Let's go.
And the LA Mad Drops back in the win column. Hunter and Wang Yun, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck the rest of the weekend. And that is going to do it for our first match of the day here on Championship Court as we get the mic drop from Hunter Johnson and Wang Yun. Love that. We are nowhere near finished. We've got the Brooklyn Pickleball team taking on the Phoenix Flames in just a few moments. Stay with us here from Southern California.